But slower than
All right, welcome. Wacha nione na kina nani wamesha tune in. We're already at 124 people watching it live. I can see everybody just commenting the sixth. Okay, I'm loving it. Let's just begin. Tell your friends to tell somebody we are live. Yes, senior council is in the building. We're about to start having a conversation. But first, like we always do, we have to mark the register. We have to know who is tuned in. Nyakwaka Rogan, karibu sana. Charity Mbashi, karibu sana. Mulu Siovo, karibu sana. Stony Linda, karibu sana. Ready for the 6th, karibu sana. Eddie Chemutai, karibu sana. Moses Osaka, karibu sana. Victor Great, karibu sana. Elizabeth Kinanga, O'Brien, Fei, unasema very ready for Tuesday. Okay, karibu sana. Lois Njoki, karibu sana. I can see Fei ako hapa, karibu sana. Susie Davis, karibu sana. Kate, as usual from Machakos. Unasema uko wapi? Tell me where you're watching from. Mimi nakusalimia before we begin. Frontliner TV watching from Kayole, karibu sana. Tune in Mamo Nivulai, karibu sana. Welo, karibu. Watching from KSA, karibu sana. Judith Adhiambo. Eldoret, Jonah Kirui, karibu sana. Nimekucheki, nasema Agnes Adonjo from Masaku, karibu sana. Please, we are ready for her to address the nation. Okay, Lynette Gatwiri, karibu sana. Kapsabet, Brilliance Becky, karibu sana. Ready to learn from the best. Kim's TV, karibu sana. Tune in, big man from Narok. Mark Ohuru, karibu sana. Live from Mombasa, karibu sana. Sarah Musimbi, karibu sana. Live from Australia, Salma Abdi. We had 648 people watching the live. Karibuni sana. We're watching from the hospital, Rose Kimbio. Oh, pole mami, utakuwa sawa. Pole, we have in our prayers. Juja, that is Pascal Mokua, karibu sana. I've seen you watching from Italy, karibu sana. Robin from Githurai, karibu sana. Lebanon, Azna, karibu sana pia wewe. Doha niko ndani, Jennifer Maroko, karibu sana. Auta Sabaki, Franco Mutua, karibu sana. We have Kasarani, that is I am Feather, karibu sana. Mombasa Nyali, areas tune in. SSA, Junior Secretary, karibu sana. Felicitas Mwende Malindi in the building, karibu sana. Rongai Ikondakas, Alex Juma, karibu sana. We have good evening from Thailand, Bosis Shish. Karibu seme sis. Bwana, you know people from the lakeside. Okay, karibu sana. Welcome. Good evening. Catherine from Mwihoko, karibu sana. Watching from Forest Road, Winnie, karibu sana. We have Kachmega, the mighty Bobby, karibu sana. Margaret from Nyandarua, karibu sana. Karibuni. We are 786. You know, we begin when we get to 1,000. When we get to 1,000, we begin. When we get to 1,000 people watching the live. Narok is tuning in. Masi, karibu sana. Belinda Spencer from Bungoma, karibu. Navens Nyakweba from Kuwait, karibu sana. Fabian Mumo from Naivasha, karibu sana. Live from Kisii, karibu sana. Rongai, karibu sana. Minpin, karibu sana. Nimekucheki. We are 895. We're just shy. We're shy of a few people. Get to 1,000. We begin. Auta Kiserian, karibu sana. Mamo Nivulai, munasema munasubiri. Okay, very good. Kenol Newton Muraguri, karibu sana. Yep, there you go. I know now we can begin. Karibuni sana. Thank you very much for getting time to be with us. Thank you very much for sacrificing your precious time to tune into Obinna Show live. We don't take that for granted. Asante sana. Thank you for buying your bundles and tuning in. Asante sana. We're coming live to you as usual from Samaki on Othaya Road. This is the best place to come and sample seafood. You want to try some amazing delicacies, lobster, crab, shrimp. This is the best place. Pitia useme ni Obinna amekutuma, utapatiwa special discount. Okay, watakuongeza supu, but yeah, sinika kitu ama kasosa. All right? So pass by and have a good time. Yes. Wanasemanga hayawi huwa. Okay, yeah. Okay, mbiu ya mgambo ikilia, that one I know. Kuna jambo. So yesterday evening, I did a post and I said that today we are going to be doing an exclusive. And when I did the post, I saw a number of comments. I just want to read a few of them So you see the way people are ready. Right now it has over 3,000 likes and over 100 plus comments. I posted and said, tomorrow we have 2 exclusive interviews on Obinna Show Live. 2 p.m. we have the Iron Lady, Martha Karua. That is Thursday today. Comments. I always knew days like this will come. Mwangi Kadila, wow, this is great. Mwafrika akeka fire emojis. Akasema iko nene. Lo, akasema this year tumefanya kazi safi, okay? Akasema Chepchumba akasema yes, after Iron Lady tulete Sifuna. Okay? Mwingine akasema also bring anaitwa Ayamachi. I also hope after her next you bring Bad Girl Mili Aki. Wakio Mgiriama, I can't wait to listen to Martha. Galaxy, the real deal. Where he itakuwa kali moyon. So all these comments are very positive and I'm very grateful and I'm humbled. And true to her word, she came through. So allow me to take this honor to introduce for the first time on Obinna Show Live. I think this is going to be amongst the learned friends that we've hosted, ako hapo. Because you know the other people we've hosted in this platform. Sitaki kumesha jina ya CS Mutu, Mr. Sema CS, or Sema MP Nini, but she is among the most learned individuals we've hosted in this platform, and she has she has lots of fasts that she's been able to accomplish. We look up to her. We celebrate as a country the Iron Lady herself, Senior Counsel Martha Karua. Nimepata vizuri?
You've done it very well.
Iko sawa.
Iko sawa.
Karibu.
Iko sawa.
Yes.
Na hamjambo.
Hatujambo.
Obinna guess.
Yeah. Obinna family.
Yeah, Obinna family.
Obinna family.
Yeah.
Wamekusubiri sana. Wametuma maswali moto niweze kukuuliza. We'll get there. But I've really I hoped and I planned that one day I'll be able to host you.
Yeah. Because
growing up, I've been looking at you as a no-nonsense person. Nimeona some things unafanyanga niko like, we. And I'm always like, okay, how are you as a parent? Wewe ni ule wa kutandika ua ama kwa parents sasa hapo ni soft spot?
Niko hivyo.
Huku na huku same?
Not exactly. You know, different environment, different whatever.
Okay.
But there's a time to laugh. There's a time to be serious.
Okay.
All that.
All right.
Yeah.
However, your time to laugh, sijawahi iona. I've never seen you laugh.
It depends, unaniona wapi. Ukiwa unaniona kwa uwanja wa hard tackles, utaniona nikicheka.
Yeah, that's
Ikiwa
true.
unaniona nikilalamika juu ya hali ile wale wako kwa mamlaka wameweka wa Kenya, there's nothing to laugh about.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Haya, karibu sana Obinna Show Live. Nimeona umetokelezea. This kitenges, unazipatanga wapi?
Zinashonewa tu hapa Nairobi na my esteemed tailor, Flo. Tailor and friend, Flo Masinde.
Flo Masinde. Anakupigishanga luku. Kitenge
unamweleza ni nini unataka na anaileta ikiwa vile unataka.
Vile iko. Hakuna kitu reduced. Hakuna si ule fundi wa kukana. Niko na event kesho. Anasema ai.
Ako sawa, hata ukiitaka instant tutaipata.
Nice. So Flo Masinde.
Yeah.
We give you your flowers. Endelea hivyo. Unaona umemvalisha vizuri sana. And also I've seen you've spotted locks for a while. Do you categorize yourself as a rasta?
In sister locks. Which prompted my grandson to ask me whether when he grows up, he can have brother locks. I thought that was rather sweet because the sister had sister locks at that time.
Okay.
So he just asked me, Shosh, will you let me have brother locks?
Yeah.
And I told him, yes. I didn't bother to explain.
Okay.
Because brother locks can be anything from Rasta to any other thing.
Okay.
Yes.
So when is sister locks, but his lock is in the family, Rastafarian family hapo.
Yeah.
Nasikianga reggae? Sana.
Na naipenda.
Can someone stop reggae? Ama nobody can stop reggae.
Nobody can stop, not just reggae, music. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I've also seen on social media people call you Shosh. Does that offend you?
No. I'm a shosh. I'm a very, very blessed and happy shosh.
Okay.
For now. And anybody else of an age to be my grandchild is my grandchild. So they come in thousands.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There you have it. There you have
and
it.
And it is a blessing.
True.
I've lived every one of the years that I have lived. Yeah.
Your grandchildren, wakisikia wanaenda kwa shosh, full vibe. Ama sisi kwa shosh huko.
Kwa shosh is the real deal.
But you know, most of our parents were very tough on us. Then our children, they're very, you're like, I love Babu, I love Nyanya. You're like, I wish you knew when we grew up there.
Yeah.
So,
being a shosh is like a second chance of raising children.
Yeah.
So it's never like your children. It's totally different.
Okay.
And it's relaxed. A shosh is a friend, you know?
True.
You are not with them all the time. So you'll not be the disciplinarian.
Yeah.
You are a friend whom they come to.
Okay.
And even when you get to stay with them longer, you still are the shosh.
Okay.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Now that is out of the way, now let's get right into it.
Yeah.
I knew you were coming, so I wrote a lot. You have your CVs like this. Let me just read a few accolades so that ule mwenye sayana tune in and understand what you're talking about. We have a lot of, so first one, first female lawyer to be an MP.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. You have a couple of first that I also wrote down. Okay. The first female member of parliament for Gishugu constituency elected to serve 20 years. Consecutive.
Yes.
Unapiga wanakwambia arudi.
Hata hakuna MP amewahi kuchaguliwa 4 times. The closest was Nhashon Juno the late.
Okay.
He served 3 terms. So I exceeded him by 1 term.
Okay.
Another one is yet to do 4 terms.
Bado.
Yeah, but it's open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because you are doing such an amazing job, Ama, because there were no other valid options?
I think you cannot underrate the Gishogo people. For any electorate to keep electing somebody, there must be something you're doing right.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So I served them with dedication.
Okay.
All those years. And I believe had I vied for MP, I would still have gotten elected. Yeah.
Nice. Also, you are the first female minister of justice and constitutional affairs in Kenya.
Yeah.
A lot of first.
And the third minister of justice also, because there was Mboya, Njonjo, then myself.
Okay.
Now there's others.
Wameongezeka.
Yes.
The only woman to run for president in Kenya.
No, that is not my first. I can't claim it. Professor Wangari Maathai, the late Nobel laureate, ran for president, I believe, in 1992.
Okay.
And Gilu ran for president together with Nasrin in 1997. So not the first. But I did run for president in 2013.
You are the only female.
Nasrin was still there.
In 2013?
I'm not so sure.
Okay.
Yeah, check.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are also, you've also been able to run a very successful firm in Kenya, run by a woman.
I ran my law firm from 1987 to 2002, December.
Okay.
2003, it ran for a year without me for purposes of winding up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's so much you've done here, from you being a highly sought keynote speaker, for you being very vocal on women's rights. Also, you are in the 4th UN World Conference on Women in Beijing. You've also been in 2007 December, you are reappointed as Minister of Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then also you did you are an integral part in drafting the Constitution of Kenya Review Act 208.
Yes.
Okay. Then also you also successfully led the government negotiating teams on national accord. You also oversaw the development of key legislations, that's including the National Accord and Reconciliation Act in 208. Hey, you've done so, wow. You are Minister for Water, Government of Kenya in the government of Kenya for 203
to 205. 205. December. Yeah.
And all these were coming from Karoti Girls Secondary School.
And led the water sector reforms. Karoti was just one of the schools I went to.
Okay.
But that's where I did my O-levels.
Okay.
I went to a total of 3 schools in Kirinyaga.
Okay.
Kiboria, Giriambu, back to Kiboria, and then Karoti.
Karoti.
Yeah.
Primary?
3 of them. Mugumo Primary School.
Okay.
Kabare Boarding School. And finally, St. Michael's Girls Boarding, Kirugoya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which type of student were you?
Hardworking one.
Okay.
And outspoken, which was not always looked on kindly.
True.
So I got into trouble with my mouth. Yeah.
Uli-expeliwa shule?
Kufukuzwa mara nyingi. Nilikuwa naenda nyumbani, mzee ananiuliza, what is it this time? Namwambia ni half term. Ananiuliza, are you sure? Nasema ndio.
Na si half term?
No, ikiwa ni half term, namwambia ni half term.
Okay.
But it meant that I was sent home so many times that even half term,
alikuwa nafikiria umetuma nyumbani.
He would ask me, are you sure?
Yeah.
It is half term.
Like, if you remember the one that is very vivid, when you are sent home, what did you say in school? Because I'm sure maybe you're fighting for some rights somewhere.
Yeah, unaandikwa kwa kitabu ati mlikuwa mnasungumuza during prep. Noise making, if you like. That's what they used to call it.
Okay.
Sasa tabu sio noise making, na mimi sikatai nilikuwa naongea. Ile nakataa ni the punishment awarded. Like the very final one, ile ilifanya nifukuzwe kule Karoti. No, Giriambu. No, Giriambu I wasn't expelled. Kiboria. Mwalimu anataka kunichapa on the backside. Namwambia huwezi. Ananifukuza, anakimbia mpaka the gate of the school na na exit. Sasa tunarudi na mzee.
Okay.
Mzee alikuwa mwalimu. Sasa anamwambia, naambiwa nitoke nje. Nasikia wakidiscuss huko. Mzee anasema, it's against the code of regulations. You cannot cane a female student on the backside.
Okay.
Naye mwalimu wangu anakataa, anasema hiyo ndio punishment. Na mzee anamwambia, I will withdraw her from school. So my father withdrew both me and my sister from the school.
Jutu ya kuchapwa.
Because of no, but on the backside, how? It's indecent. Now that I know, I didn't know such vocabulary as indecent or the concept. But nafsi yangu haikuniruhusu kukubali.
Okay.
Namwambia mwalimu, kama ni mkono nitakupea, lakini not the back.
You know that thing most of us don't know until now. I'd like you to expound on that kidogo. Msichana kuchapa on the backside, it is
indecent. It's offensive. Yeah.
Okay.
That is was reserved for boys, and that's old dated, because today you don't beat any child. It is not part of the school, whatever. You give them other punishment, acceptable punishments. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So he wanted to administer a cane on my backside, and I said no. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So you all the time that you expelled how many times?
I didn't count.
So I don't remember, man. There's a couple of them.
Okay. Just a few. Another one ni kuambiwa to uproot a tree stump of a big tree.
You're in farming.
I had seen another classmate punished that way. It took her more than 3 weeks to uproot the stump. And when the teachers were not watching, we would assist. Students would voluntarily assist from the different classes.
Yeah.
Lakini ilikuwa kubwa na ilikuwa na mizizi ndani.
Yeah.
And you know we are Form 1, Form 2, so hatuna nguvu sana.
Yeah.
So 3 weeks, your parents think you are in school, but uko nje ya class.
Unalima.
So mi nikaona hapana, hiyo siwezi. Sasa ukikataa si ni kufukuzwa tu. Kwani iko nini ingine?
You are a tough student to deal with. Walimu alikuwa anakuona ati Martha is part of that delegation. Hey, nyinyi rudini class.
Lakini class work haikuwa inanishinda.
Hapo ulikuwa na shine.
Haikuwa inanishinda kabisa. Yeah.
I understand during your education somewhere in life, umeikuwa classmate na Weta?
Weta was my junior in university. So we were in university same time, but he was my junior by 1 year.
Okay.
Wakiwa nasema mmoja mwingine notable.
Okay.
Judge Ibrahim, now of the Supreme Court. Okay. Those are my learned juniors.
Okay. Okay. Wait. I wanted to ask you, how was Weta as a student?
No, we were not in the same class.
Okay.
But we knew each other. We knew each other with Kina Mohammed. Yeah. Ibrahim,
Okay.
they were behind me.
Okay.
Another judge, Fred Ochieng, was in Weta's class.
Okay.
A notable lawyer, Anthony Lubulela. Yeah. My real classmates and near mates, Nancy Barasa.
Oh, wow.
Robinson Jerogedaya, who was an ambassador. I've got many. I could mention many.
Okay.
Yeah. Judge Abi Shiganga. So I have many classmates who are doing some things around.
Some amazing.
Yes.
Sisi tukianza kutaja ma classmates wetu. Usikia Otiwa.
And Otieno Kajwang the late.
Ah.
We were in college together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mukisa Kitui was a contemporary but not a classmate because we were doing different disciplines.
Okay.
Although together with, am I remembering like Kajwang? They were sent away because in one of the many riots in quotes at the university.
Okay.
And he finished in Da.
All righty.
Yeah.
So notably, you've achieved so much. Do you feel like umefika mwisho in life? Uko like everything I wanted nimeshafanya?
Sijafika, hapana. Niko kwa safari.
Is there something you want that you have not gotten?
Mpaka nifike mahali Mungu amenipangia. Because if you are strong, if you feel you have strength to continue, you don't stop. So I'm still on my journey of life until God wishes. And I feel I still have more to give to the country in terms of leadership. And I offer my leadership, whether in an elected position or outside. I've been out of elected leadership for this is the 13th year. And my voice, haijafifia, bado inaendelea.
True.
Kwa hivyo sio mshahara unaniita kutumikia watu. Sio nyadhifa, ni mwito. Kutumikia nchi yangu na kuendelea. Na bado ningali niko. Sijaenda.
Who are the other iron ladies that when you look at you're like, they're on the right track. We give them their flowers.
Iron ladies are many.
Okay.
Some
the ones in public wale mnaweza ona labda.
Unauliza public. But in my life, my paternal grandmother, Mwanjogu, was a great woman and an iron lady.
Okay.
My mother, who is not as outspoken as I am, it's quiet strength, but I know her as an iron lady and as a pillar.
Okay.
There are many other neighbors I could cite. But if you're asking in public life, I have seen many people I admire.
Okay.
The late Nobel Rorie Wangari Maathai, Phoebe Asio, Dr. Julia Ojambo, all whom I call by their first names because I have been able to work with them.
Okay.
Many women that I have worked with.
Okay.
I admired as I grew up Dr. Muringo Kiereine. She was the first African chief nursing officer. And you know, these are things you note when you are young because it's being broadcast on the only radio that time, Voice of Kenya. You note such things and you see their poise, well-dressed, articulating issues. I saw many people, the late Jane Kiano, there are many women I have admired as I grew up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, a lot of ladies look up to you and they admire you. Yeah. Some don't understand how you do what you do. But now since we're here, I might as well ask, what's the secret?
I think the secret is to be true to yourself.
Okay.
To be authentic all the time. So what you see is me. You may not see the whole of me because you're seeing snippets. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
A lot of people are commenting here saying the sixth. Are you considering running for president again?
I've always said I have unfinished business with that office. You know, I've ran for president before. I have unfinished business.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah. So watch the space.
Sawa Kamala Harris. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you believe there's going to be a chance for Kenya to have a female president? Let's say in the near future?
Obviously, yes.
Maybe like in 10 years?
Like today. Let me tell you, when I ran for office as a member of parliament, the reception I got when I first went to Geshogo is that here we don't elect women.
Oh.
That you come, maybe the most you do, you get yourself well known. Otherwise, this seat is for
a man.
men.
Yeah.
It's not from everybody, but there are people who tell you that very seriously. And I would respond to them. I've come seriously intending to be elected, and I'm going to work to be elected.
Okay.
Naikawa. So this thing of asking whether Kenya is ready, Kenya never sat under a tree. Everybody never sat under a tree
And
to
agreed.
say that they are ready for incompetent males.
Yeah. True.
Kenyans are ready for a president or a leader who shows competence, who have their issues at heart, and who will put Kenya first.
Okay.
Beyond any other thing.
Okay.
Who will take care of the welfare of Kenyans, who will respect the people, the constitution, which is our social contract, who will uplift the nation and its people.
Okay.
That is, I believe, the leadership that Kenya wants, and that is what they have put in the constitution.
Okay. Most people view you as the Iron Lady, integrity 100%. But there's like a small faction of people who are like, in 2007 alitucheza. I know probably you've heard the story when Kibaki was sworn in, Mimi, we know blackout, Mimi, then you are at KICC in the middle of everybody. And people are like, she was part of the whole con.
I wonder which con and who conned who. Because in this country, we talk as though the Kriegler report, which is an independent report, never happened.
Okay.
We can't just be listening to what PNU supporters of the day, like me, will say, all ODM supporters of the day. Because those are two antagonizing groups, and everybody will give their version. We have an independent report. There was vote exaggeration, serious vote exaggeration on both sides. The Kriegler report has it, and I personally know, because when we spent the night at KICC, I for Kibaki together with George Nyamweya, James Orengo together with Karori Omondi for Raila, we actually were able to note that Chepalungu constituency, Raila had been credited with 337 votes, which was then more than the entire population of Chepalungu at that time. When I raised the issue, it was corrected. They brought another handwritten paper, the IBC. They corrected and said that it's a mistake. The actual vote is 37,000. So the 3 had been added in front. I'm just giving a stark realization.
Okay.
ODM had issues with the votes in Juja constituency. They had issue with the Rakanidi and with several other places. So each party had issues. And you remember the infractions of the other side more than yours. So I also remember that there was a constituency in Nyanza, I believe it was Kaspur Kabondo, which had voted 115% of the registered voters, meaning more. So as a matter of fact, who stole from who?
So all of them are thugs.
There was a group from the US that did an audit.
Okay.
And they were saying, when you remove what is believed to be exaggeration on both sides, because anything beyond 80% is an exaggeration, because voters don't freeze on the lines where they registered to vote. Okay. So a lot of people don't vote. I don't know whether they say 85% or beyond a certain percentage. When they shed off that, they still would see Kibaki leading with 200,000 votes. That's a small, very small margin. That's why I say, from where I stand, Kibaki won. But from Kriegler report, the mess was so much that it was not possible with accuracy to say who won. So how was Kibaki sworn in? He was announced by the IEBC. He was announced on the 30th of December 2007. And his mandate was expiring at midnight on that day. We could not allow a vacuum. A candidate has been announced as a winner. We did not have a constitution which guides when you swear a president or the procedure. So we made arrangements for him to be sworn in. And he was sworn in at 5. The ceremony may have continued past 6. He had to be sworn in.
So you're privy to this swearing in conversation?
I attended it. I attended the swearing in. Nothing wrong with it. The time was because there was dispute, which held the announcement until 4. In fact, Kebuito could not announce at KICC because chaos broke out. He announced on the radio after we had left. And then brought the certificates to State House. Yeah.
Could it been avoided, everything that happened after the announcement? That was just bound to happen because of the way it was?
No, it could have been avoided. And I always say, those who blame the announcement for the violence in some places was sporadic, but it's obvious it was also arranged and targeted, like targeting Mount Kenya people and people seen as non-Rift Valley. Kisis were caught up, Luhias were caught up, never mind that Kisis had voted for both Mwai Kibaki and Raila. Never mind Luhias had overwhelmingly voted for Raila and some for Kibaki. But when violence breaks, it has no reason. So they were all seen as non-indigenous to the Rift Valley. So you cannot give an excuse. 2 wrongs never make a right. And at that time, I used to say, if you have a grievance, go to court. Isn't that what we did with Raila in 2022? We went to court. We obviously disagreed with the court. But that is the better way than losing lives and displacing people. It's not satisfactory, but it is the better way. I feel my vote, or I'm convinced my vote was stolen in Kirinyaga in 2017. I did not lead people to violence. We went to court. Never mind that the court never gave me justice. Up to the Supreme Court. It's only the East African court which affirmed me and said the Kenyan court did not follow the rule of law. It didn't give me the seat, but it affirmed me.
Gave you closure.
So I have no regrets for having been at KICC as an agent for Kibaki, just like Orengo and Karori were as agents for Raila. Kibaki was a candidate. I defended his vote and my vote, having voted for him.
But you resigned from his cabinet?
Yes. When
Why?
policies we had agreed upon were not being followed during the coalition government, I resigned on principle. So the fact that I had elected him didn't mean that I had to acquiesce with things happening in a manner that is offensive to the people of Kenya.
If you look at the presidents we've had, most people always say Kibaki is the best president we've ever had. Do you agree with that statement?
I actually agree. Even though I resigned from his cabinet. Look at Kibaki. Kibaki comes in 2003, call it 2002 December, but it's December 30th or something. So he is president literally 203. We are crossing over to 203. The constitution has not been changed, but civil liberties open. Services to the people become different. He gives free primary education, he actualizes that policy. The economy begins to grow and the government begins to serve the people. Okay. To say he was good for the country and he he facilitated the growth of the economy doesn't mean that he was not fallible. He's human being. Tensions began within his government leading up to the failed referendum of 2005, leading to the sacking of the entire government and forming of a government that secluded Raila and his people for opposing the referendum, leading to the tension of 2007. So the disputed elections of 2007 come under him. The Grand Coalition government comes under his tenure. And the 2010 Constitution, the elusive prize that Kenyans were looking for almost 20 years, comes during the tenure of Kibaki, but aided by the Grand Coalition government, which had Raila as the Prime Minister and Kibaki as the President. It had two principals who were consulting each other. So their union may have brought back the corruption in government, but on the good side, it gave us the constitution we had been looking for. Okay. So Kibaki's tenure still, even with the stain of 2007, remains the best.
What is maybe 3 or 5 things that he did right that these other presidents are not doing, even our current president, that you just look at them and like, I wish he would just, I wish. Those 2-3 things that maybe Kibaki got right.
Opening civil liberties.
Okay.
Allowing his cabinet to work. He was not micromanaging.
Okay.
He would supervise you like he's supposed to because you have to report to him and you have to report to cabinet.
Okay.
And if something is not going right, he will point out. But he let ministers apply themselves. He let the civil service apply itself. Because a minister is not the one who does the work in the ministry. A minister gets the glory as team leader when things work. You get the barbs for the failure when it doesn't work because you are the team leader. So he allowed us to exercise that. We used to each give their views in cabinet even when they are contrary. And there were no reprisals. And that was Kibaki even when he was just my party leader. You couldn't disagree with him. And I disagreed with him several times. He actually appointed me to a shadow cabinet and I publicly rejected in 1997. And fast forward in 2003, he still names me to cabinet. You see? He was a Democrat.
Yeah.
And I will say again, that doesn't mean he was not fallible. We all have our best and our bad days. And sometimes we sleep, but he was the best. Yeah.
Basically, Kibaki was a listener. He would listen.
Yeah. Yes, he would.
He would listen and give chance to different ideas. All right.
Yeah.
Now, let's shift kidogo from Kibaki. Let's come to politicians as a whole.
Yeah.
Do you believe politicians are truthful people? This is what I mean.
Generally not.
Okay.
But politicians are human beings and you must weigh each. We can say generally politicians are not truthful. But you must look for every politician and weigh them as an individual.
Okay.
I believe it's very tiring to lie because I would have to try to remember. Maybe I would need a notebook. And you will still sleep and forget what you lied last. And when I used to deal with my constituents day to day, they'll tell you what they want you to do for them. You will promise. I will note down when I'm in the constituency office. Next time we meet, they will ask you. And if I didn't do it, I used to try to tell them openly, I forgot. Because I'm human and I can forget.
That's true.
And then we agree on a way, we devise a way of you reminding me after a while so that I do the thing before the next appointment.
True.
But if I tell you I did it and I didn't do it, I give you a false report. next time you come, I will not remember what I told you last. So it's easier just to say as it is. And I find people take that better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most politicians have not come to that awakening. Tutatenga, tutawambia, tutafanya hivi, and then they still come back, they still haven't done it. And the reason I was asking this was for politicians being truthful. We've seen politicians this campaign season, atawambia Obinna ni mambo yote. Next one, was Obinna. The other one, now we're back with Obinna. When I think it was it Linda Katiba, you were against Raila.
I was against BBI.
Against Raila was pro BBI.
BBI,
okay.
I was against. Even when I joined him, I never became pro BBI. Remember, BBI had already been defeated through the court.
Yeah.
And you remember when he was speaking me as his running mate on 16th of May at KICC, in his speech, he said that he's making me his running mate, and when we win, he will make me I will be his deputy and also in charge of constitutional affairs, and I will lead the constitutional changes they envisaged in BBI.
Okay.
In my acceptance, and you can go back to the records, I accepted and pointed out that on constitutional changes, yes, in accordance with the law, without having to say too much, I wanted to bind myself that I will lead changes in accordance.
The law.
Remember, the court had pronounced itself.
Yeah.
Just to limit the expectations that I'll be anchored in the law. So he picked me knowing that I have a mind, knowing we can differ, and for that I salute him.
Okay.
Yeah, because he knew even in government, there are things that will happen, and having known me for the 20 years we had been in parliament together, and 5 years we had worked together in opposition, he knew that there are times I will say no.
All righty.
Yeah.
When Raila chose you as the running mate, who broke the news to you? Where were you when you were told, hey?
I was at KICC waiting for him to unveil. We were all there, those of us
you
who
didn't know?
Tried. No. There were vibes that I'm likely to be, but nobody had confirmed to me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So ulikuwa hapo uko like, niko ready, ukavaa Sunday best.
Nilikuwa ready in this way. If I'm named, I will campaign like there's no tomorrow. If I'm not named, I will still campaign like there's no tomorrow. Okay. Because I had already committed myself to Azimio.
Yeah.
I was still going to be part of that. I wasn't going to rush back to Kirinyaga and say, let me pick up where I left as a governor candidate.
Yeah.
I was still going to be part of it. I had, you have to call yourself to a meeting and say, because it can be either or, how will I react?
Okay.
I had prepared myself well.
A lot of people thought it was going to be Kalonzo. Then at some point you unveiled. And also rumor has it that he did not sit well with President Uhuru Kenyatta, that you are the chosen.
Only Uhuru can say that.
Okay.
But I know that when the process was democratized, it was left to the individuals to apply and for a committee to recommend, and for us, and we attended the interview, and for Raila to pick, because he wasn't bound to pick number 1, 2, or whatever.
Yeah.
I knew that the chance would be open to everyone, and I applied myself. And you do not apply yourself only on the day of interview.
Okay.
The building blocks are your actions that have been there before. So I actually had expectations of myself, but I also left room in case it's not.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody welcomed you?
Well, nobody came and said, I'm very upset you were chosen, but I'm sure it cannot be 100%. Tuliendelea vizuri na wale tulicontest na wao, and we campaigned very closely. But yes, if you're asking the vibes, I was told about vibes that there are people who needed time to internalize. And it is all right. It's okay. Yeah. But we all had campaigned very well together.
Yeah, we saw ukapewa chopper.
Si kupewa chopper na the campaign. The chopper was given to me by a corporate friend. a senior brother of mine who owns 2 choppers. He released one to me, and he always told me, if you're picked as running mate, I'm giving you this chopper. And he gave the other chopper. The other chopper was already being used by Raila.
Okay.
So he sacrificed his chopper for me. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How was the campaign? We saw, you guys painted the country blue.
Oh, my feet really touched the ground. We were on the move. And I was totally committed to the campaign.
Yeah.
You saw me in Mount Kenya. There was hostility the past 4 or 5 days. I braved it. And I reminded the people, the vote is in their pocket, not in mine. And they are the ones who will decide whom to give to it. So there is no need of too much ado about nothing. Listen to me, listen to the next.
Then decide.
And we were able to climb the mountain and to be able to campaign there freely. At the end of the day, we may not agree with the final tally, but they said Raila got 800 plus votes from the mountain. Votes he has never gotten. So our labor was not in vain.
Paid.
We expected more, but what we got was more than he has ever gotten and was equivalent to what he got from Ukambani. So sizable.
All righty.
Yeah.
Also in the campaign, I saw there was a music video that was shot. I saw the behind the scenes.
Mama Kenya.
Yeah. Boniface Mwangi was posting for us up. How is she in that space? How? Because that's not your forte. Like mimi nikikuwa hapo mimi niko vibe
Gani
nini?
hiyo?
Si kwa music shoot hiyo sasa.
Music shoot. I'm a person who loves music, loves to dance. I didn't even dance enough on that video. So that's me.
Simucheze wenu.
Huwezi ukanishinda, usifikirie. Ati sababu ya miaka unaweza nishinda kudance.
Miondoko huko.
Usifikirie. Hata usiote.
Me, I was worried about you. Kumbe I was like, sasa Boniface Mwangi amepeleka mambo wapi?
Hapo nilikanyanga break kidogo.
Sema, let me forgive you guys. Okay. All right. Favorite artist of all time? Your favorite artist of all time?
I'll say many because I'll not say one.
Oh, okay.
There are very many artists who've done it so well. I love Juliani.
Okay.
His music.
Okay.
You even saw during the Azimio demonstrations, Utawala was my signature song.
Yeah.
I love Eric Wainaina.
Okay.
So many, including gospel musicians.
Okay.
You know, if I were to name, the list would be many.
Okay.
If I were to name international musicians, there will be many. But any danceable music is my music. And don't forget that in 2002, the National Rainbow Coalition Unbogable was the signature, and it still remains so danceable. Giddy giddy maji maji. It was the best.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I wouldn't have thought you were like a dancer, but it's
well, try me kama ni competition uko nayo.
Okay, I mistaki kuembaradhiwa. Surely Obinna umeangusha mbogi. So it's fine. Mimi naanguka tu nayo. You've been even the Azimio, you were very close to Raila even before.
Yeah.
How is your relationship been like? First mulikutananga wapi then?
Long before politics, when I was an activist in the Law Society.
Okay.
And Raila is a politician activist in the social space. First, I remember after the coup when they were arrested, we used as young lawyers, and that time I was a magistrate, to go and peep in the court to see this Raila Odinga. We were sympathizers of the people held to court. Okay. Then later on, as an activist lawyer, he is again being hounded by government along with other politicians. We used to pro bono go to represent them. And I think Raila alluded to it when he was unveiling me as his running mate, that I was among 27 lawyers that went to represent him. And then we met in Parliament.
Okay.
We were both elected same time in 1992 December. So from then we've known each other in politics. Before we were elected to politics, I met Mama Aida. Also in the social space and in the activism space. Remember, Mama Aida used to be haunted by the KANU regime. She was even sacked from her job as a teacher in Kenya High and evicted from the school in Aroli. So we were sympathizing with them. And I came to meet Mama Ida, I believe, around 1990-91. We are the founding members of the League of Kenya Women Voters. I as chair, Mama Ida as the treasurer. So we were working very closely together, even as we come to the Forum for Restoration of Democracy. So even before I meet Raila now more socially, I've already met Mama Ida. So they've been family friends, and they are still friends. Even when we differ politically, they remain friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Politically, do you like his ideologies?
Yes. Actually, we have more in common with Raila than what separates us. Okay. Like now we have differed on dialogue. Okay. We differed on NADCO. Yeah. But we have many more things that bring us together. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I had no hesitation working as his running mate. Okay. Yeah.
If he chooses to run in 2027 and says, Martha, let's do this again.
I think we did it, and we did it so well. Okay. Got it, but never received the prize. Okay. I think that was enough.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So if he's running and I'm running, you know politics. You can always bargain who lives for who. Pengine nitamwambia nilikusukuma hapo nisukume sasa.
Hiyo kubargain wanasema muda bargain who lives for who.
Yeah.
It's true there are people who are paid to step down from
not bargain this way, because I would have nothing to give someone. What I have is only enough for me. Okay. And I wouldn't pay somebody to step down.
Ukilipwa uache.
Nilipwe pesa ngapi? I was a candidate, even though odds look.
All right, the ones you've seen right in front of you are students from Goldchild Media Institute. It's an institution that teaches people what to do in the media space. You want to do videography, you want to do photography, you want to do anything on this space. Simusimame ni kama mwatu wa nini sasa. Hapa si HR bwana. Hii ni media inataka watu creative nini. Umeshika kamera, kama umeshikilia kamera nini.
Kwani ilienda nini? Nenda kitambo.
Oh, they are displaying, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Normally, what do you get?
It depends. Sometimes 10,000, sometimes 1,000, but it's never lesser than 1,000. Right, they're all studying the same thing. So if you want to join, you should consider coming through to Goldchild Media Institute. They're in town. And on this show, Obinna Show Live, we always have, once in a while, we invite some students from the school to come through and get a glimpse of what goes on. You can see the lights. If we put it like this, you can see we have the lights this side. I wish we could pan around so you could see more of the things that are happening behind the scenes. So you need to study all of these things that are happening over here. It's not as easy, and also it's not as hard. Okay, it takes a little bit of discipline, a little bit of lessons here and there, the technical know-how. So consider joining Goldchild Media Institute. All right, we're back now. Let me know if the sound is okay from where you're watching from. Just let me know if the sound is okay from where you're watching. I'm checking Team Beach CK. Our sound guy. It was a sound guy. When we impeach CK must go. Yeah. Let us know if the sound is okay. Now iko sawa? The sauti iko sawa. The sound is back. By grace nimekuona iko sawa, iko sawa. We have 3.3k people watching live. Asante sana. It's back now. It's back. Okay. The sound is good. Sound is good. All right. Iko sawa, iko sawa. Asanteni sana. So remember, two things you need to know before you continue the conversation. One, we are doing a tour with them on Facebook. You're coming around to your town. We're starting with Narok, Kisii, Eldoret, Bungoma, Kitale. But bado nakuja Mombasa, Machakos, tunakuja Nairobi tafanya pia, tunaenda Lodwar. So go to www.madfan.com, get your ticket. Myself, them on Facebook, and many other comedians and comedians. We are coming through. It's going to be an amazing show. Obinna Show Live is coming on the road. We have the weekly show with them on Facebook coming on the road. We have comedians and musicians coming on the road to your town. Prepare, buy your ticket mapema. Useme, sikuwa nimejua ticket napatikana wapi. Tafuta ticket yako mapema. Mapema ndio best. All right. Secondly, on Saturday, this Saturday, in the morning, Wapi United Kenya Club, we are doing men's mental health awareness walk. Statistically, according to World Health Organization, suicide rates globally, 75% men. We're trying to find a way to reduce that number. Yes, it's very bad. Men are hurting. They don't know who to talk to. They don't know how to talk. So I'm doing a men's mental health awareness walk, and I'm asking for your help. It's a free event. It's a non-profit event. Just come in to Tembe Tao, to Rudi. It's legal. We've done all our due diligence, and we have the support of the government. Tufike to Tembe. Then now the relevant stakeholders are going to do the needful. Wanaume wajue nikikuwa na shida napiga simu hapa, naongea na huyu, nafanya hivi. Msinyamaze tu ati, let me just suppress my emotions. No, you need to talk if you're hurting, and also you need to know how and who you're talking with. So men's mental health awareness walk is happening on this Saturday. United Kenya Club is free entry. Just look for a white t-shirt, white shirt, anything, come through, because we are black itakani kama maandamano. So we're white, all right? Then finally, if you want to study production, that is videography, editing, you want to study color grading, sound engineering, so you can do it better than what we are doing clearly. Na nyinyi pia muende Goldchild Media Institute, mufundishe mambo ya sound. So go to Goldchild Media Institute. They are in town. That's Development House. Play for me the ad, tafadhali. You are students from Goldchild Media Institute. It's an institution that teaches people what to do in the media space. You want to do videography, you want to do photography, you want to do anything on this space. Simusimame ni kama watu wa nini sasa. Hapa si HR bwana. Hii ni media, inataka watu creative ni nini. Umeshika kamera, kama niko umeshikilia kamera ni nini. So, what are you doing? Videography? And photography. Or finally to change tune. And photography. Videography and photography. Apple. Oh, okay. All right. They're all studying the same thing. So if you want to join, you should consider coming through to Goldchild Media Institute. They're in town. And on this show, Obinna Show Live, we always have, once in a while, we invite some students from the school to come through and get a glimpse of what goes on. You can see the lights. If you pan like this, you can see we have the lights this side. I wish we could pan around so you could see more of the things that are happening behind the scenes. So you need to study all of these things that are happening over here. It's not as easy, and also it's not as hard. Okay, it takes a little bit of discipline, a little bit of lessons here and there, the technical know-how. So consider joining Goldchild Media Institute. Ukuje ujoin hawa. Ujifundishe, si kujifundisha ku-DJ tu peke yake. Alrighty, there you have it. So we are honored to be hosting the one and only senior counsel, Martha Karua. She's an iron lady. We know she does not stand for nonsense. If you bring and you're not true to your word, if you're not following the constitution, na natembea. Okay, for the Gen Zs, you might not know this, but some of us millennials know there was a president in Kenya, was called M1. Kiduli. This gentleman was fierce. Nobody would dare cough when he was talking. But the Iron Lady walked out on him. Yeah. We've seen the video.
Yeah.
We are like, people are like, okay. She didn't fear kufanyiwa ile kitu watu walifanyiwa huko akina nani?
Unajua?
Yeah.
I had the courage of my conviction. Na ukiwa, when you are young,
okay,
daring, being courageous, those are what makes the youth.
Okay.
I was a youthful member of parliament, and I was unhappy about what was going on. And since Moi had denied me a chance to address the meeting, to rebut the insults and sarcasm his people were heaping on our party, then the Democratic Party, and my leader, Mwai Kibaki, I decided I'll walk out, not on those people who were uttering those words, but on Moi. Because I had drawn his attention, he did not stop them, and his body language told me he will not give me a chance to speak. Because I was seated 2 seats away from him. I had drawn his attention and I had told him, if you can't stop your local chairman from insulting my party and my leader, then you must give me 5 minutes to defend my party and my leader. And I had seen he will not. So I prepared to walk out on him.
Akianza speech.
And I surveyed. Nikaona mahali podium yake iko entrance. Nikajua siwezi kumfuata. Nitaonekana kama naenda kumvamia.
Yeah.
Nikaona ka entrance kengine to the left of the podium. Nikajua hiyo ndio nitatumia kutoka. It was like 2 meters away from him. So wakati aliitwa, nilimpatia dakika 2 za kupika, just a minute to reach the podium. Nikachukua bag yangu, nikachomoka kwa hiyo ingine entrance, nikaenda mbele zake. Alikuwa anakohoa. You know, it was customary for him to clear his throat before speaking. Akikohoa, ile anaona mbele yake ni DP salute.
Wewe.
Akampatia DP salute.
Nayo.
Kama sitaongea, I will speak in actions. So I was expressing my
Still
disagreement.
Communicated. Yeah.
And I swaggered out.
Oh, it's called swaggered out.
It's not about what they will do. It's about me making my point. That was what was present in my mind. Not the fear of what will they do to me. And that's what I see our youth doing today, the Gen Zs.
Okay.
It is the urgency of delivering the point.
Okay.
Demanding for accountability. And my walkout had results.
Oh.
From Kirinyaga, Moi went to Meru, Imenti. He allowed the late Mwiraria, MP for Imenti Central, to speak, and Kiraito Murungi, MP for Imenti South, to speak. He didn't want another walkout. So my walkout earned the opposition a place in presidential functions. He went to Western Kenya after Meru. Wafula Wamunyinyi and others were allowed. That is what broke that caste, where the KANU government led by Moi used to belittle opposition and the opposition MPs wherever they went. They could give the local KANU chairman a space to speak, but not the elected opposition MP. My walkout had results.
You are not looked for chini ya maji ukaambiwa jaribu tena.
Walinifuata to Kerugoya town. They sent the OCS in charge of the Gishogo constituency, because Kerugoya was the county, then district headquarters.
Okay.
My constituency was in the neighboring Gishogo. So they looked for the OCS Gishogo who was in the function, because presidential function, everybody senior has to be there. They asked him to follow me to town and ask me to clear from the town. And I told him I'm going nowhere. He found me addressing the people. And I told him, go tell the head of the commissioner of police. He then was called police commissioner. Go tell him Moi is the visitor in Kirinyaga, not me. I'm a daughter of the soil. Okay. If I've committed any offense, come for me. So they left me alone. And within 10 minutes, Moi had finished the function and they were leaving. Nikajua hata president akona fears and insecurities because maybe they thought I had gone to organize something in the town.
Enda kupanga kazi.
Yeah. Mimi sikuwa napanga. I was just telling people we must learn to resist injustices and we must resist them together.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, if someone could walk out of Moi, then it definitely would have been you. Yangalia wengine niko like, hey, Moi was feared, and there's still a lot of fear in our parents' lives, and they never understood. At least until now, the Gen Zs are like, wait a minute.
But I want people to know that I was the sole opposition MP. We were 4 MPs in Kirinyaga. I was the only one who went to receive Moi at Kiroya Girls.
Okay.
Although I was opposition and totally against his policies, I recognized that he was my president, even though I didn't elect him. So I gave him that honor by going to receive him.
Okay.
And I told his minders to give me a prominent place in the podium, in the jukwaa, because I was the only opposition MP that came to receive him.
Okay.
And his controller, the late Chepkwone, gave me only 3 paces away from Moi among the ministers. Between me and Moi was Koskei and the late JJ Kamotho.
Okay. Of course, Kamotho alikuwa ndo bagi
They
yake.
were happy that I had gone to receive Moi.
Okay.
But look at what happened. Allowing his party chairman to berate Mwai Kibaki and the DP, which I belong to.
Okay.
So I want people to know I had given him his due respect. They disrespected us, and I walked out.
Okay. Yeah. So as much as you're in the opposition, you recognized Moi as the president. So right now, do you recognize Ruto as the president?
No. Until the servers are opened and we ascertain. The court made a decision I disagree with, which in effect says that in a collegial decision-making of 7 people, the IABC, 3 was a majority, not 4. An absurd decision. So until they open the servers, and the body language of Ruto and his people confirms to me that they never won. Because if they won, the Constitution provides for audit of the entire election. And that's where the opening of the servers comes in. Okay. Servers represent records. Records are both electronic and physical. Why wouldn't Kenyans audit so that if there is a flaw, we rectify before the next one?
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, he is null and void, according to you.
For me, yeah. He's not my president.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Mulikosania na Ruto wapi?
Hatukukosana.
Haumpendi?
I do not like his actions. Okay. And for those who don't know, I collaborated with him, or rather we collaborated, limited to opposing BBI. As Linda, when I was in Leader Katiba, I met him once or twice in his current office, not in darkness. I drove to Karen during the day, and we talked, and it was limited to BBI. And it was not collaboration so that I become his mouthpiece. Ni kurecognize ya kwamba yeye anaoppose, hawezi sema sababu ako ndani, sisi tuko nje, ndio tuko na sauti. Umeona?
Yeah.
Limited to BBI. BBI ikiisha, kwa heri.
Kila mtu arudi kona yake.
Na wakajaribu kuniambia tufanye kazi na wao. Na kisha nikawaambia, it is not that I don't hear what he says he'll do for Kenya. The what question, I had no problem. But the how. Kama huta pledge kupambana na ufisadi, si kufafanua, nimwambia to answer the how question and then we can talk.
Akashindwa.
No, he did not even attempt to answer it. Mwishowe nikawaambia, in good faith, I cannot work with you. And I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
We even saw juicy when Raila said, guys, to give space for dialogue. Wewe ukasema, wewe peke yako na mimi sitaki.
Lakini hiyo dialogue anauliza, the Gen Z push was not an Azimio push, nor was it an ODM push. ilikuwa ni ya majenzi, wamekuwa sauti ya Wakenya sababu upinzani tulikuwa tumeshindwa.
Yeah.
Last year tukamwambia cost of living. Tukatoka kwa hiyo mazungumzo. I am against hijacking the demand for accountability by Gen Z.
Okay.
And making it an opposition thing.
Okay.
Tuache sauti ya Gen Z iwe juu, and we examine one by one their demands. I believe each one of their demands is rooted in the Constitution. Accountability is there. Right from Article 10. Right, which is our foundational values. Through to Chapter 6 on leadership and integrity. So what the Gen Z are asking, put Kenya first. Put our needs first. Look at Article 43 of the Constitution on basic needs. They are asking that Kenya be administered or be guided by the rule of law, which the Ruto administration has completely cast aside. Why should people be killed for expressing themselves through demonstrations and picketing? Why should people be abducted? An arrest is not an abduction. An officer must come up to you, identify himself,
Sure.
tell you the reasons for arrest. You can only be apprehended with force if you are resisting. But you cannot abduct people. Look at them abducting Macharia Gaido and then saying it was mistaken identity. Does any Kenyan, unless if you are violent, deserve to be treated that way? That was an abduction, not an arrest. Look at the number of young people dead. 66 and counting. So many missing, and bodies at the mortuary with falsified records that a person with gunshot wounds is being recorded as an accident victim. Where is the rule of law? How can you talk when the boot of Ruto and his administration is on your throat? If they're still killing, still abducting as they are today, so many people unaccounted for, no apology, no compensation for the killed and injured. Is that an environment for talking? And before we talk, do we need to discuss whether we are a country under the rule of law? We talked when discussing the Constitution and settled that. Do we need to talk about our right to services? We finished with that. That's why it's in the Constitution. Do the things that the Gen Z are saying. If you are exiting and you want us to talk as what happens after your exit, that's a different issue.
You believe that's possible?
Yes.
For Ruto to say...
How do people resign in Europe? If you respect yourself and you respect the people as a leader, when people show you overwhelmingly that they have no confidence in you, you should resign. I have said time and again, leadership is not a title deed. Huwezi kushika unajidai nayo ati niko na miaka 5. Ni kasi kibarua umepewa. Unaweza futwa masaa yoyote. Ukifutwa kazi, nenda zako. Wacha wa Kenya wajiendeshe. Okay. Ashafutwa kazi. Vile watu walitokezea 35 counties, and those numbers, that's not a joke. And he knows it.
It says something.
How come he withdrew the finance bill? Si alisikia? Si aliona?
Yeah.
Kwani iko referendum ilikuwa imechukuliwa? How did he sack his cabinet? Ruto knows he stands dismissed and recalled by Kenyans. Yeah.
There are some people who are saying the president needs more time.
More time? More killings? More time to do what if you're not following the rule of law? You are dismissed. That's it.
Yeah. That they got empty coffers, according to Rigiji.
Kibaki got empty coffers. They couldn't have been more empty than they were empty. And any government coming will forever find empty coffers. Why? Yeah. As we collect our taxes, we continue to spend on the programs. So unless it is countries that are rich enough, that have managed themselves well enough, like Botswana, to have reserves. Even in America, no president comes to find full coffers. because they are on it's a credit card economy. That's what I say. They also have debts just like us.
Yeah.
So when you seek to manage a country, you know you will not find money seated waiting for you. But the streams of revenue continue to run every day. You aggregate them, you spend well. But if the streams are coming to the common basket and you are abusing and misapplying and misallocating to your luxury and the luxury of the ruling elite, forgetting to apply them to the needs of the people, then you will start just the song of empty coffers to divert attention to your misdeeds. Right now, our attention has been diverted. We are no longer talking about the demands of accountability. We are merely discussing cabinet nominees. There is now talk of impeachment. We are being diverted. When Kenyans said wamefuta Ruto, sio Ruto, Ruto ni jina, because he is the head of the administration. Walifutwa na serikali yake yote na Gachagua na kila mtu. His entire complement. So Gachagua stands as impeached as Ruto by the people of Kenya. There is no need. Wote wameambiwa fagilia wote.
Some people are saying Rigiji is good, that Ruto should leave for Rigiji.
I am not aware of his goodness. And I know that when an administration, people have said they have no confidence in an administration. It's not divisible. It is one. The presidency is one. But it has how many people? Two. Under cabinet. Yeah.
What do you think of the reshuffling of the cabinet? Have fired then some are being brought back, put in some positions?
I think Ruto is saying, in other words, it's my way or the highway. He has gone back to his comfort zone. You look at the names, he has given the totality of it.
Yeah.
There could be one or two who may pass muster, but the bulk of it, you know, even when you don't pull the trigger, we start by him. The presidency takes political responsibility for all the deaths, for the mayhem that has visited Kenya,
True.
for even hiring goons. The CSs, if you are in charge of internal security, you too take political responsibility.
Okay.
Why would be the army hired to come, let out of barracks to come to the streets? We are not at war with Kenyans, but Ruto appears to be at war with Kenyans. The army is not trained to handle people. They handle the enemy. Are Kenyans the enemy? If you fear your electorate so much that you have to wear the armor of the army, then you are accepting that actually your time is up. So when you look at all those things, I would urge fellow Kenyans, let's keep the focus. The focus is the demands of accountability by the Gen Z. And I'm very happy that the people of Kenya are vetting those nominees and have already disapproved.
Yeah. Turkey.
Yeah, all of them.
Would you recommend for the Gen Z to form a political party?
No, I don't want to recommend. Remember, they are ahead of us. We never saw them coming.
True.
We never saw that it was our children and our grandchildren, well educated, reasoning better than the adults,
okay,
who are in leadership, that they are the ones who would restore the voice of Kenyans, our agency as a people, that they are the ones who would help us to exercise our sovereignty as written in the Constitution. Those are not people who you need to tell what to do. It has worked because they are not projecting anybody or any group as their leader. If they were projecting leadership, that leadership would be targeted for compromise, for arrest, for killing, for anything.
Yeah.
So it has worked.
So they keep being faceless and
when you are following values and best interests of the country, instead of propelling any individual to leadership, because it's not even election time.
yeah,
That is why this movement has succeeded. And it's a question of when, not if. Mark my words. You never win against the people. I keep telling Ruto this. You'll never win against the people. Bado utaenda nyumbani. It's a question of when, not if. Na mtaenda na watu yako wote. Your entire complement.
Say any one good thing about President Ruto.
He himself can write a better history for himself by heeding the words of the people. Show respect.
Okay.
Listen to the people. Hear their voices. Don't hear what your voice, your selfish voice is telling you. Hear what, or your cronies are telling you. Hear the voice of the people.
Okay.
And I want people to know that I've worked with him before. During the constitution making in Naivasha, when we had a deadlock as members of the parliament, the constitutional committee on the constitution, I sat down with him and we brokered 5 consents, which we brought to the plenary, and we were able to break the deadlock. One of them was accepting the Teacher Service Commission to be a constitutional commission, entrenching abortion in the, not opposition to abortion in the constitution. We lifted the clause in the Medical Act and made it a constitutional provision that abortion is not allowed except if in view of the doctor. The same language as the Medical Act, that the doctor is the one who can decide whether there is going to be an abortion if the mother's life is in danger. So we brokered 5 consents, which became useful for the deadlock. So I can work with him within certain limits, like we collaborated to defeat BBI. But on issues governance, we have a lot of differences. Yeah?
Okay.
Our stand against corruption, differences. Even when we worked together in the Kibaki administration, I voted against him. I voted for a motion to impeach him when he was Minister of Agriculture and I was a Minister of Justice.
Oh, wow.
Because there is no collective responsibility in doing wrong. The motion did not succeed, but I did. But we later succeeded to oust him when I raised a point of order during Prime Minister's question time, after the Constitution, 2010 Constitution was inaugurated, to ask about his suitability because he was facing graft charges in relation to the Kenya Pipeline Company. And he was suspended as a minister by Raila and then reinstated by Kibaki. Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
we've differed on governance.
Okay. Is there anything that the Ruto government has done right since they started until now?
I'm trying to think. I'm unable to find at the moment. You'd have to give me enough time.
Give you more time.
Yeah, to search.
To search.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. There you have it from the senior counsel herself. Do you reply to comments on your social media by yourself?
I do. Twitter is my platform. I do.
Oh.
Yeah. Most of them I do. And the one that I'll not have done, there will be something to indicate.
Okay.
It's my team. But generally, it's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wakutafute Twitter.
Yeah.
All right. Just before we wrap it up.
Na nitakumit vile utakuja. Aurapo, aurapo. Usikuja ukifikiria.
Ukikuja hivi unarudisha vile umekuja. An eye for an eye. And
we have a Kikuyu saying that an arrow sent at night must be returned at
night.
Yeah.
Say it in Kikuyu.
I belong mugwe wotuko. Mugwe is arrow.
Mugwe
wotuko.
Wotuko.
Wotuko is night. Oshokagio is returned at night.
Oshokagio. Mugwe wotuko oshokagio. That's
basically aurafo.
Mundi jaribu kwa kipindi. Oh wow, okay.
I'm as human as you are.
Okay.
I'm sure you may not say it, but you agree.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Wanasema nikupatie maji. She has surely.
Yeah. Sema meona tu niongea masaa nyingi na unaninyima maji.
Aliitisha hot water only, that's what she requested. Tukampati mama. Mama county hujapatia. Hujapatia
Nimekunywa.
Kuja uapologize hapa.
No, wameona niko nayo sasa.
Sasa normally this I don't know ni muite huyu anaitwa Mama County. Kimbia bwana. Huyu ndiye analetanga kinywaji.
Habari yako?
Mzuri.
Mama na mkono.
Mama County yako na kitenge.
Mimi naitwa Mama County na nasikia kuna maji hapa.
Ako
na maji, msiniue.
Maji huko.
Wacha niweke hapa ndo.
Waonyeshe hata birika.
Hata ako na birika.
Iko.
Asante sana Mama County.
Amen. Mungu akubariki.
Hata wewe. Na sisi kama wamama.
And also she had just met the YFB before we started. Akakuwa hapa akamuita granddaughter. Wameongea hapa. You'll see the video. She will get to post that one. So, two burning questions before we wrap up. We had 20 minutes we've overrun. We had 1 hour 20 minutes, we've overrun. Ask her whether she can support Kalonzo for president, Geoffrey Ng'ang'a.
I think I would throw the question back.
Okay.
If we sat and we agreed, I supported Raila. Okay? But once I have said that I have unfinished business in that office, let's cross that bridge when we come to it. If I'll be a candidate, then it means I support myself first. God's commandment says, love your neighbor as thyself. Self-love is important so that you can be able to love others.
All righty. Ask the young lady what will be the future of William Ruto after August 8th mega protest. So I think that's next week.
I think he will still be William Ruto, and he's a Kenyan just like you and me. I think what we are talking about is in that context that he remains one of us, a Kenyan. Whether he remains when he leaves leadership is the question.
All right. Juliet Akai said, tell Honorable Martha that I respect her because of her integrity. One politician who is a performer and real. Thank you very much. The part that you're asking if she can work with the Ruto if he approaches her, she already answered it before this one. So just rewind the interview kidogo. But now this is an interesting question as we wrap up. Ask about NHIF and SHIF.
I think SHIF is a very bad idea. It's trying to bastardize NHIF, something that was working. If there was corruption in NHIF, clean it up. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. SHIF looks like designed to scam Kenyans. It's a scam, my people. It's going to have 5 regional centers and 5 cartels that will decide whether you get paid or not. I don't have time to explain it. It's a great scam.
Oh, wow. What a way to end it. Thank you very much for coming. Asante kwa kuketi na sisi, kucheka na sisi, kutuelimisha. We are honored to host you on this platform. Asante sana.
Asante sana, nimejienjoy, and God bless Kenya and us all.
Amen. So that's enough for now. I'll see you guys at 10 p.m. I have another exclusive interview happening again today, so stay tuned for that one. But for this particular one, asanteni sana sana sana. Much love. See you later, inshallah.
Thank you.